hello, good evening. So, yeah, I just came out of a live session and I thought to jump on YouTube and quickly do this. So, it's a very wonderful conversation that I've been thinking about. Talk to me, baby. I mean, you know, uh, this conversation is very important in my view because I had some time out with my wife today. We went out, we did a few things after church, and something that, comes up all the time came up again. And, at the point, my wife would ask me, like, am I afraid to look at her or look at her into her eyes and all of that? And I just smiled, and there's always this talk to me, baby. And, that's where I got this topic from. Now, it's a very short thing I want to say here. And that's to say, your spouse, all right, needs communication, all right, to remain actively in the relationship. Your spouse needs communication to remain actively in the relationship, and you're going to have a lot of that where your spouse expects that you continually communicate. Particularly for the man, the truth is, you got her by talking, right? You spoke to her, you proposed, you spoke to her, you extolled, you spoke to her, essentially communicated how you felt about her. You essentially communicated. So, what happens is a lot of times when we get into the marriage phase of the relationship, we stop doing the things that got us into the marriage in the first place. And the thing about marriage is the point of attraction. The thing that attracted in the first place is the same thing that is required to keep the intensity of the relationship. All right, so you are going to get a lot of talk to me, speak to me, say this to me, and all of that, and it's very important. And I always give this example that even as Christians, as children of God, one of the ways that God keeps our relationship with Him refreshed is by continually speaking to us, right? Because God Himself knows the nature of mankind, right? Appreciating the nature of mankind requires that we speak, all right? Now, this is an issue. This is something I'm still trying to learn. Like we're all trying to learn, and I don't want to pretend about it. It's not. It doesn't fall on you. You've got to be intentional about it. Like this afternoon, using the example of today. Let me just keep it practical. I had to tell her like, yeah, the truth is I'm tired. Like, when you say you're tired, when you say you are kind of exhausted and all of that. So it becomes extremely important to remind yourself that your spouse is entitled to your speaking because it takes conversations to maintain relationships. Relationships cannot be maintained without conversation. And I'll make a few points why conversation is important to relationships just to buttress my point and to drive home the point. Number one is by conversation that we have the feelings of bonding. All right, anybody you converse with, you have to make time to talk to, so they get a feedback that they matter. All right, that's number one. All right, number two, it's through conversation that we get into the minds of one another. All right, so this is not just a feedback or a feeling that I'm important, I matter, they see me, is I'm getting into their thoughts, I'm getting into their hearts, I'm getting into their perspectives, I'm getting into their preferences. All right, number three is by conversation we come to conclusions. All right, so I'm not just getting into their perspectives, I'm not just getting into their heart, I'm not just getting to their thinking, I'm also getting to the point where we are able to make joint decisions. So number one, I say, I matter. All right. I matter. All right. Number two, I said, that's where you have the opportunity to get into their mind, their thoughts, their preferences. And number three, I said, that's how we are able to come to joint conclusions. And number four, which I highlighted in number one, but standalone, is that it is through conversations that we also come to the point where we, bond. The result of conversation, consistent conversation, talk to me, is bonding. All right? Because a lot of relationships, especially marriages, are in a drift. They're not close anymore. They are not friends anymore. They are not into each other anymore. So it's so important to understand that when we begin to have conversations like this, that's what we're saying. All right? Talk to me. I'll try to get Julia here tomorrow. Okay? we're going to do more of these live YouTube videos. Very important to do. So I'll try to get Julia to join me tomorrow, and onward, I will come here as often as we should. But if you're married or you're in a relationship, don't forget you need to speak. Talk to me. Talk to me. God bless you. Good night. If you are watching from Nigeria, good day if you are watching from any time zone earlier than this. Good morning if you are watching from any time zone earlier than this. Just in case you are not subscribed to this channel, you stumbled on this video. I don't know what you're waiting for. Subscribe, share to other people, let them come in and be blessed. All right, share this video. Start with this video. Share to other people. You don't know who you save by referring them to a place of truth. God bless you. Good night.